Yes! Alrighty, what's up everybody? It is I, once again, your travel god of extreme, Peter Joseph here for video number 2! Number 2 on your Monday evening, getting close to Monday night, August the 10th, 2026. Thank you all for watching right here on the main channel, Killer of Demons 669. And as always, thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video and subscribe right now to my channels. All the links are down below in the gobbledygook, otherwise known as my pants. So, do that. Don't forget to hit that bell, turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one. If you miss anything, you suck! That's who. Excuse me. Haha. But, we move on with that. So, subscribe to the channels, leave a comment if you wish. Don't forget to hit that bell for more. And if you're brand new here, well, welcome to the party, pal. Grab the tasty cold one. And that's it. Enjoy the show. If you like it, great. You know, go fuck yourself. And that's pretty much it. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, no big fancy intro. Check out my rant, my new rant. I should be up by the time you see this. My rant on Conrad Thompson and all the shit he said about Roman being overrated. So, check that out on the PG Rant channel. Link will be down below in the gobbledygook. And, that's pretty much it. So, watch it. Remember it. Leave a comment if you wish. And, that's that. Because the king of rants is back once again. That's all I gotta say about that. So, watch it now. But, right now, before we get to Monday Night Raw coming up at the top of the hour, let's talk about Smackdown really quickly. So, it is time for your well, late and out of date Smackdown or Weltdown thoughts. You understand? Thoughts. Alright, so Smackdown wasn't that bad this past Friday, and we are emanating from the Xfinity Mobile Arena in that dump in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And as always on Friday Night Smackdown, our commentary team of Joe Tessitore, my good friend. I do a great impression of him, and that's Bad News Wade Barrett. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I got some bad news for you. Michael Cole is a garbage man. He's pizza, he's garbage. And ladies and gentlemen, more bad news. I'm afraid that Roman Reigns is not on Monday Night Raw this evening. Sorry. Yeah, Roman's not on tonight. Next week he will. So our Tribal Chief will be back next week. So ladies, settle down. You know, keep your panties on until next week. That's all I gotta say about that. Anyway, alright, let's quickly go through SmackDown. We started off with a in memoriam to Dory Funk Jr., you know, one of Terry's brothers, you know, hanging up there in heaven now with Terry. I think Dory Funk Sr. as well. So that was nice. So we get that. Then after that we get Cody, MDK, Cody, you bitch. He's pissed. I wonder why, because of what happened at SummerSlam, where Randy Orton's voice came back and pretty much RKO'd him to hell, cost him the chance to become a three-time SmackDown Men's Champion. So Cody's like, Randy, get out here right now. So Randy doesn't show up. So Cody pays a little quick tribute to Dory Funk Jr., talks about winning the title in Philadelphia, brings up the loss of CM Punk at SummerSlam, and then, out of nowhere, the champ comes out, and I'm like, oh no, not another 20-minute fuck fest. No more bore fest, please. And they proceed to go back and forth, saying, oh, did you know about Randy coming out? And Punk's like, no, I didn't know. And if I knew, I wouldn't have told you anyway. So, they're like, how about we just go to the back and take care of Randy ourselves? Cody's like, nah, I'm not doing that shit. So I'm going to do it myself. He goes to lead Punk. Punk's like, we have some unfinished business, so just say when. I'm like, oh, God. Another boring match between them. So then Cody leaves, and then my good buddy Kevin fucking Steen comes out. And him and Punk, I'm like, oh, here we go. That was going to get good. Fuck Cody. Now, the promo is going to actually get good. So Punk starts making fun of Kevin Owens' gear. He's like, hey, nice pants. And then Kevin Steen's like, hey, I wrestle in shorts instead of pants, you idiot. But yeah, I do want to wrestle. And, I haven't wrestled for 17 months. And the fans like, you still got it. And then Kevin Steen's like, I never lost it, guys. I never lost it for 17 months. And then he's like, oh, Punk, you're a changed man. But I'm not buying that bullshit. Smart man, Kevin Steen is. And, he's like, Cody can have his match anytime, but I'm the rightful number one contender. And, that's because you're arrogant, Punk, to look past me. And Punk's like, that don't work for me, brother. Blah, blah, blah. And then eventually they talk about ticket sales and blah, blah, blah. KO says Punk must be lonely on the top of the pedestal and calls him a piece of shit. Yikes! And then agents and, agents and referees come out. Nick Aldis comes out and tries to stop this. They have a little pull apart, That was great, but I love the first segment. And then later on, a nice segment with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who Sami was still talking to Johnny Plangano. Can we stop Johnny Plangano? 6 months of this? I mean, his freaking arms are probably shot. He can't even stand up straight. Feel bad for Candice LeRae. I'm saying, but it's a matter of time before Johnny Wrestling's contract goes bye-bye. They're just going to release him. He's going right to AEW to join up with his good buddy Ciampa. So we got that. So Sammy's yelling and screaming at Johnny Plangano, and then Kevin Owens comes in, he talks to, his good buddy Generico, basically says, and then Nick Aldis comes in, and Kevin Steen's like, I want my title match with Punk August the 21st, that's next Friday, next Friday, in Toronto, Kevin Steen territory, basically, because he's from Maribel, Quebec, Canada, Toronto, Well, it's, not the same province, obviously, but it's in Canada, so Kevin's got the advantage. I hope he wins the title. Probably won't, but we got that. Alright, so we got that later. So we move on. Alright, Charlotte has known Jade, as Jade Cargill has something for years, or whatever, has known her for years, I think, and, she's gonna give her a royal ass beating, so we get that later on. We got Trick Willie Shamoon ready to beat up Baron Snow and Corbin, get the U.S. title back. So we go to that match, and Baron Corbin came out on a motorcycle. Gimmick infringement. Trying to be like the Undertaker. Badass Undertaker, Biker Taker, whatever you want to call him. Anyway, decent match. Trick hits the trick shot. Corbin got the ropes near the end, and then Corbin gets knocked to the outside. Referee gets shoved away, and then Corbin with the belt shot. 1, 2, 3 to retain the U.S. title in just under 8.5 minutes. And then they go to the back. Kathy Kelly's interviewing him, and Corbin's like, "There's not a man in the back that's gonna take this title from me." And then Melo Hayes comes in and says, "Hey, I want a shot." And then he beats the crap out of Baron Corbin. And I think we got a U.S. title match coming up this week. I hope, we'll see. We get that. Like I said, we talked about, we had the Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens thing with Johnny Plangano in between. And Kevin Owens is getting his title shot against Punk August the 21st in Toronto. We get that. Alright, then we get a recap of Chelsea Green, Madam President, winning the interim women's championship. We're going to have a celebration, and we get that. So she comes out, thanks the fans, thanks her friend, it's Tiffy time! Tiffany Stratton. And then Fatal Influence comes out, JC Jane, Fallon Henley, and Lainey Reed, the women's tag team champions. They interrupt, they tease a brawl, and then I think it was, Tiffy says, hey, let's have a women's tag team title match. So, on cue, we don't even have to get Teddy Long player. So, we have that. And, well, Tiffy kind of says, Jason's like, well, if we give you the match, Tiffy, you have to give me a women's U.S. title match next week. So Tiffy says, okay, I'll give you that. So we got that coming up this Friday. We might get a title change. I hope not, but, I love both ladies, but still, it is what it is. Alright, so we get to the women's tag team title match. Wasn't great. This is where Chelsea got hurt. She has a broken orbital bone. And, Fallon and Laney get the win and retain the belts in just under 7.5 minutes. We get that. And then the Irresistible Forces, Nia, Jax, and Last Legend, get shit done. They come out and beat the crap out of really Tiffany Stratton. Because the referee was like shielding Chelsea because he told Nia and Lash don't hurt her because she got a broken orbital bone. Hopefully, Chelsea does not have to relinquish the titles that she just won. Then we have another goddamn tournament. I think Chelsea's gonna wear a mask like Rhea Ripley did when she broke her nose. And her orbital bone, so I don't think Chelsea's gonna miss many times, so we'll see what happens with that this week. And that's that. Yeah, so they posed with their respective titles. So Nia, I think, had the interim title, and Lash had the U.S. title. We'll go from there. Move on. Alright, Poppy Priest doesn't get why the MFTs are coming for them. That's Tamatanga and Hikudio, along with Haku. So it was like, why is the MFTs coming for us? Like, we didn't do anything to them. And then War Machine, Eric and Ivor come in and say, hey, we want our title shot. So we get that in a triple threat match this week, along with the MFTs for the Smackdown tag team titles. And then, as R-Truth made the match, and Priest's like, what are you doing? And then Poppy points out that the triple tag team titles are not on the line, and he is pissed. I would have just done a triple threat for nothing match. It is what it is. Alright, we're about a minute away from Monday Night Raw, so let me fire up Netflix real quick as we move on. Alright, so this week on this coming week on SmackDown, this Friday night, triple threat match for the SmackDown tag team titles. Poppy and True taking on Eric and Ivor, War Machine taking on Hikudio and Tamatanga with the legend Haku at ringside. Alright, let me see if I can fire up Raw. I don't know what's going on with fucking Netflix on my TV these days. Alright. I think it's just at the loading time. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Alright. Let's see where we get here. Alright. Loading! Alright. Raw's about to start from, I think it's in Norfolk, Virginia tonight. Or Norfolk, Virginia. We're just about to start. Alright, we go. Alright. Then we get another video on Brock Lesnar's career and his retirement. Great stuff there. Move on. Alright, then we get Randy Orton. It's not this voice! He comes out, but before he can even talk, Cody comes out in different clothes. That was a quick change. And Randy bails to the floor. Cody's like, I want an explanation about why you did what you did. And Orton's like, why are you yelling at me? Why are you getting all pissed off at me? You told me during the road to WrestleMania, before we had that match at Mania, you told me to bring the Viper, the most evil version of myself. Yeah, you beat me at WrestleMania, but that's the time when I realized, I needed to go full blast. And he's like, the best version of me isn't going to bring home number 15, but the worst version of him sure will. And from now on, Cody, you're never gonna get the belt ever again as long as I'm around. And then Cody's like, I don't have to be a champion anymore. I don't even have to be the good guy. So like, the worst version of me is gonna come out. So Randy, who kills you? Who kills the legend of Randy Orton? Damn, Liv's legs are right around Dom's dick. Oi. And Dom's carrying her. Oi, 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 I wish it was Dom right now. Ho-ho! But that would be Io instead, you know. Nothing wrong with Liv, you know, because she's trouble, trouble, that's me. Cherry lips and bad energy. Say it once, say it twice, and I'll give it to you on. Oh, sorry, Roman's on. Sorry. We have to take a moment to acknowledge Roman, and we get a recap of last week where Roman was in the ring with Eli Drake. That's an insult. That's a fact of life. Yeah. And then Roman basically handing Eli another, you know, well, he didn't give him an ass whooping, he just gave him, you know, beat his ass on the mic. And then he tells the Usos to leave him alone for himself. And then we saw at the end where it was Jacob versus Eli, and then I think it was Jacob. Was it Jacob versus Eli? I forget. No, it was Jake. I think it was Jacob versus I forget. Yeah, basically, Roman. You know, oh yeah, it was Jacob and Royce Keys in a street fight, and Jacob pretty much put Royce Keys on the shelf. You know, busting him open, you know, with a Tongan death grip and blood just like bleh, coming out of his mouth. Like the blood capsule, not blood, but, you know, the blood capsule coming out of his mouth. And then Roman comes out, puts up his one, he's like, well, buy the Royce Keys. So we'll see what happens tonight with what Solo has to say, because Solo's supposed to open the show. We got that. Moving on. Alright, so Cody's like, who kills the legend of Randy Orton? Hopefully not him, but we get that. Oh, then I mentioned Sammy, and, blah, blah, blah. Actually, Sammy comes in, and, then Punk comes in, asks if they're still doing this whole thing with the Plagano thing. Says that if Sammy could do anything about this, he would have when he lost. Now Sammy's at the back of the line. Sammy's pissed, and he was like, well, I was like, wait, no, don't hit no innocent water bottle. We don't need that shit. And we move on with that. Alright, then we have an interview with Jade Cargill and the baddies. She wants the women's title. Get that. Then we get a video for Nikki Smelly Bella. Says she rebuilt Paige's career. Now it's Paige's fault that the Bella sluts aren't together right now because Brie hurt her shoulder. And Nikki promises revenge. Oh, see that. What's Cole talking about? Simone Werewolves lies. What are you talking about? What's Cole talking about?
It's just me, O's. It's just me, O's.
That's Solo coming out. It's just me, O's. That Solo's great. I like it. Solo Jolo. I like it. I'm not going to hear it, but anyway. Alright, so after that, we get a video from, we haven't seen this guy in a long time, Shinsuke Nakamura. He's back. Does a promo in Japanese, which you gotta love. Says that the MFTs need to remember who he is. After, you know, MFT's like, oh, remember who we are, and Haku comes back. Then he's like, I'm coming back, and I'm not coming, well, you started a war, and I'm back, and I'm not coming alone. Who is he coming with? I think it might be Finn Balor. Get that New Japan thing going, huh? A lot of people say Hiromu Takahashi, doubtful. Evil, maybe. I don't know if they're going to keep Evil in NXT. He was just there to do that feud with my cousin Tony D. So we'll see what happens on Friday Night SmackDown with Shinsuke. Alright, so Solo says, I'm back on road to handle some business, and then Jay Uso comes out, the Yeet Man. So we get that. Moving on. Alright, I think this was this the main event? Yeah. So we got to the main event of SmackDown. Charlotte and Jade. Good match. Horrible ending. Horrible. The baddies come out. You know, they get involved. And then Miss Bliss, Alexa Bliss comes out with Lily. And then she's like, has a little pray and pain thing. You know, a little reminiscent of Mr. Bray Wyatt. Then the lights go out. Sabu! No, not you, Sabu. You stay there. Stay there. Mike, can you... Hey, Sabu! Stay over there! I'll kick your ass. Put you to a table. Okay, calm down, Mike. I'm sorry. You have a good show. I gotta go. Bye. Okay. Thank you. So Sabu did not come out. So the lights are out. They come back on. Tatum Paxley debuts on SmackDown. I marked the hell out. And then she does a big dive on all the baddies, including Jade. Actually, take that back. She dives onto Mia Yim and B-Fab. And then Jade and Charlotte are in the ring. And Charlotte, bad sequence. Jade was botching up a storm. Botched her sister Abigail. And then Charlotte goes up top. Goes for natural selection. And Jade just like, bloop, flipped. And then Charlotte pins her in over 13 minutes. Match was started off okay, bad ending. I mean, I'm not going to blame Jade for botching like 3-4 times at the end of that match. I mean, come on. But, I mean, it is what it is, and that's that. So, decent match. I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars, but overall, SmackDown wasn't that bad. So I'm going to give SmackDown 7 out of 10 stars. Let me know what you guys thought of the show down below in the comment section, like Trick Willie would say. Let's talk about it. And that's that. Alright, I'm going to go watch Monday Night Raw. Jay and Solo are arguing. See how that goes. And that's pretty much it. Alright, I'll be back after Raw with your NXT review. We'll talk about Dynamite and Collision tomorrow, TNA and Ring of Honor tomorrow. If I have some time tomorrow, we'll get to Raw. And then, see what happens after that. But thanks for watching. Watch my rant down below in the comment section. And that's it. Until next time. Peace!